everyone. Welcome to Barca News. My name is Mo, and what a World Cup! What a World Cup we just had. 2026 World Cup will definitely go down in the history books as an incredibly entertaining World Cup. Three host countries. I think the first time in history three countries host a World Cup: Canada, US, and Mexico. 104 matches, and of course, the first edition of a World Cup to host 48 nations, and now it has all culminated in this a final between Spain and Argentina, where now Spain have been crowned champions, winning their second World Cup in their history, and I think making a strong argument so far that Spain is indeed the best team or one of the best teams in the 21st century, because even though this century is still pretty young, we only have 26 years through this century. Spain have already won 2 World Cups and 3 Euros. Pretty impressive feat for the Spanish team, who hadn't really won any World Cups in the 20th century, and now they have won 2 this century, and again, 3 Euros. 1-0, Spain have defeated Argentina with total dominance, completely dominating the match in every aspect of the game. And with Ferran Torres, yes, you heard that right, Ferran Torres scoring the only goal. Ferran Torres, the guy who had missed a million chances all through this World Cup, he comes and scores the only goal of the match. Out of all these stars that showed up to this World Cup, Haaland, Mbappe, Messi, Kane, Bellingham, Olise, Doué, Dembele. I mean, out of all the stars that have been at this World Cup, it's Ferran Torres that scores the only goal of the final and that scores the goal that gives his country a World Cup trophy. That's football for you, ladies and gentlemen. That's the best way to summarize football. The beautiful game where the unexpected, well, it happens. Now, before we talk about Spain, we do have to talk about Argentina first, because first of all, I do want to say, of course, thank you. Thank you to Lionel Messi for an incredible career. Tonight was not his final match. Of course, he still has some matches with Inter Miami. I imagine it could be his final match with the Argentine national team. We'll find out in the upcoming days. But thank you to Messi for the incredible career, for the 20 years of total dominance, for being the greatest ever, for all the trophies, goals, assists, and incredible moments that he gave us at Barcelona. And of course, for all the incredible moments that he has given the world of football as an Argentine player. I think this was an incredible World Cup for him. 39 years old and has scored 8 goals and provided 4 assists. That's a 12-goal contribution for a 39-year-old who shouldn't even be at the World Cup, let alone starting every match, scoring goals, providing assists, and well, being the engine of his team. And of course, thank you to the Argentine national team, because they too had an incredible run. A run that was different to that of Spain, where Spain made it to the final through consistency, through domination, dominating their opponents, possession, good football. Argentina made it to the final through a different way, and they made it to the final through grit. They made it to the final through determination. They made it to the final through resilience, a team that refused to give up. Because from the first day of the World Cup, it was clear that this Argentina was not the same Argentina that we saw in the 2022 World Cup. This Argentina lacked some flair, lacked some football, lacked some cohesion. I don't know if because some key players that were in the 2022 squad were not there yet. I don't know if because those who were there gotten a little bit older, especially Messi, 39 years old. I don't know what it was, but one thing was clear from day one is that this wasn't the same Argentine squad. And instead, well, they made it all the way to the final despite all the odds, right? Because they struggle against Cape Verde, being drawn 2-2 and having to go all the way to extra halves to win. They struggle against Egypt, being down 2-0 and having to claw their way back. They struggle against Switzerland, having to go to extra halves and then to get that victory 3-1. And then finally, they struggle against England in the semifinal, being down 1-0 and climb their way back to 2-1. So Argentina had a completely different path than that of Spain, and it was a path of resilience, of never giving up, a path of a country or a national team, I should say, that knows what football means to their country. Because, of course, football in Argentina is not just a national sport. Well, it's a way of life, but more importantly, it's an escape in a country that has a lot of financial problems, a lot of economic and political problems and instability. Football becomes an escape, an escape. It becomes a way to forget about the problems that the country is always going through, and a way to, of course, celebrate and be happy, and again, an escape of the reality, right? And I think the Argentine national team has always known that, and and they were able to, of course, to give their country an incredible, happy ending in 2022, winning the World Cup. In this World Cup, well, they refused to give up on their people, making it all the way to the final through determination, through resilience, through never giving up. So thank you to Messi, and thank you to the Argentine national team for this incredible run. And then, of course, that brings our attention to Spain, because what a run by Spain, the best team in the World Cup. When we all thought it was France that was the best team in the World Cup, with their incredible firepower, 5 world star attackers with Dembele, Doué, Mbappe, Olise, and Barcola. Well, they came Spain, completely dominated them, annihilated them, make them look like absolute amateurs. And then, well, today they did exactly the same to Leo Messi's Argentina, because today was a one-team monologue. Today, Argentina did not exist. Argentina could not even maintain possession of the ball. Argentina could not even complete more than 2 passes. In fact, I think they had only 2 shots, and those 2 shots were towards the end of the second extra half. I mean, complete domination by Spain, maintaining that possession of the ball, completely canceling Argentina. And I'm honestly surprised that this match ended 1-0, because this could have easily been 3-4-5-6-0. I mean, it was absolutely incredible, which also, by the way, goes to for that's also credit towards Argentina, because, again, despite being dominated by Spain, despite not being able to touch the ball, and despite being a man down, fairly, by the way, showing a red card to Enzo, they were still able to hold on until the last seconds, and they only lost by 1 goal. I mean, that's pretty incredible for a team, again, that was dominated from the first second until the last, and that were down a man for a big chunk of the match. So that's credit to Argentina, of course, and their spirit of never wanting to give up. But, of course, it's also credit to Spain, who dominated this match with ease, and honestly made Argentina look like not even a World Cup team, let alone a World Cup final team, because it was just absolute domination by the Spanish team. Now, this wasn't just a final. This wasn't just a final. This was a change of eras, the closing of an old era and the beginning of a new one. Because, of course, Messi at 39 years old has played his final World Cup match. And then Lamine Yamal, in his first World Cup, wins the World Cup trophy. And, of course, this is a clear, change of the guard. Or this is the Messi passing the baton on to Lamine Yamal, because in his final match of the World Cup, he loses the final at the hands of Lamine Yamal in his first World Cup. And Lamine wins the World Cup, which is a clear passing of the baton, where Messi's telling Lamine, here you go. I put the future of football in your hands. I put the future of Barcelona in your hands. May you lead Barca into the next many, many years with lots and lots of success and trophies, just like I did. And, of course, when I say I'm speaking as if I am Messi. And to think that this match happened 18 years after that famous picture where Messi was seen, bathing Lamine Yamal as a baby, and today to see the two of them go head to head, and then towards the end of the match to see Lamine Yamal going up to Messi, consoling him, hugging him, helping him off the floor. I mean, this is absolutely beautiful. Today was, of course, a win for all of us Barcelona fans, and a win for football, because things like this, the baby picture in the bathtub and then facing each other, and Lamine consoling Messi, can only happen in this beautiful sport of ours. this beautiful, beautiful sport that we call football. So, congratulations to the Spanish national team. Congratulations to the 8 Barcelona players who won the World Cup today: Lamine Yamal, Pau Cubarsí, Dani Olmo, Juan Garcia, Eric Garcia. Who am I missing? Who are the other three? Pedri, of course, Ferran Torres, and I'm missing one more. I can't remember who else I'm missing, but congratulations to all the 8 Barcelona players on winning the World Cup today. And what a World Cup. What a match. What a World Cup. Very, very sad scenes towards the end, of course, seeing Paredes getting into a fight with Eric Garcia, holding him by the neck, then throwing Gabi to the ground. That's who I was missing, the 8th player, Gabi. Very, very shameful behavior by Paredes. Very shameful behavior by Enzo, even though that foul on Cubarsí wasn't, on purpose, but, to commit such a silly mistake like that. First of all, he gets his first yellow card for protesting, in the final of a World Cup. You should know better. And then he gets a second yellow card with that kind of tackle. I mean, two yellow cards, two silly yellow cards, leaving his team down to one man in this heat in the final of a World Cup, in a World Cup match where his team was struggling. I mean, very disappointing from Enzo Fernandez, who's a veteran, is not someone who is new or anything like that, or is young or inexperienced. But aside from that, things like that can happen in football. But what Paredes did at the end of the match, that is absolutely shameful. I mean, just like you got to know how to win or how to behave when you win, you also got to know how to behave when you lose. And that's not how champions behave. So very shameful scenes by Paredes, but nonetheless, an incredible day for all of us Barcelona fans who get to see, Barca win, because whoever had won Barcelona, we were the winners. I mean, who else gets to say that? Where in a match, whoever wins, we're still the winners overall. Because had Messi won, we would have seen our the GOAT in history, the best player in history, lift a World Cup, and that didn't happen, and that's okay because we still see 8 Barcelona players get to lift the trophy. And again, definitely the passing of Baton, the changing of the guard, an old era has ended, and now a new era has officially begun. Now, let me know what you guys' thoughts are about this match, about this World Cup final, about Spain winning the World Cup, and of course, let me know what your thoughts are in general in regards to the World Cup. And with that, let's do a few comments. Oh, and by the way, Ferran Torres scoring the winning goal. I know he's looks like he's set to seal his future to PSG, or his move to PSG. Barcelona, Deco, please, if you're watching this, I know you're not. Please, can you do your job right for once and actually charge an arm and a leg for Ferran Torres? Because not only Ferran Torres just become a World Cup winner, which means his price just skyrocketed, but he also scored that winning goal, which means that he became a World Cup winner and Spain became a World Cup winner thanks to him. So if we're going to sell him to PSG, I hope that Barcelona will charge an arm and a leg for him. Otherwise, what the hell are we doing? But anyways, let's do some comments and then we'll end this video. There is a little bit of Barca news, but I'm going to leave it for tomorrow. I'm pretty tired. I was out all day today for the match. I just got home. I still got to walk my dog and I still got to go to bed. But Nathan says, hi, Mo. Ferran still goes to PSG. Barca better increase the asking price like 65 million or 75 million. What do you think, Mo? Absolutely. I don't know about that much, but at least 50 million. Hopefully more, but yes, 100%, because Ferran's price just skyrocketed. He just became a World Cup winner, and he's the one who scored the winning goal, the only goal. Javad Hut says, I'm not mad Spain won. They deserve it after how poorly Argentina played, but the Lamine PR is ridiculous. 1 goal, 0 assists, and wasn't impacted at all. Tournament, Messi should retire from the team. I do agree that Lamine perhaps didn't have as strong of a showing of a World Cup. But he's 18 years old, guys. He is 18 years old, playing in the World Cup at 18 years old, playing in the final at 18 years old, winning a World Cup at 18 years old. I mean, that's absolutely amazing. I mean, Messi won his first international trophy at 33 or 34. Penaldo won his first international trophy at 30-something. Lamine Yamal already has a Euro and a World Cup at 18 years old. I mean, he just turned 19, but that's just absolutely amazing. And Sure, he did not score a million goals and a million assists, but at that, if you watch what Lamine does, even when he's not scoring and he's not assisting, what he does for his team is just by having the ball, the amount of defenders that he draws and the amount of space he opens up just by having the ball, without even doing anything. That alone is a huge contribution to his team. So did we expect goals and assists? Yeah, sure. But just because he didn't accomplish that doesn't mean that it was a bad World Cup. Could have been better, yes, but I wouldn't call it a hype. I mean, he's 18 years old and he just won a World Cup. And again, he has contributed to his team. Maybe not in goals and assists, but that's not the only way to contribute to your team, right? Otherwise, I mean, if that was the only team to contribute to your team, that means Kouarsi sucks, right? Because he definitely has no goals and no assists. And yeah, he is the best center back in the whole World Cup. He just won the best young player at the World Cup. You know, that's not the only measure, goals and assists, that we measure players by. Guy says Ferran is shit. I'm glad Spain won, but I hate that it was Ferran that scored. Maybe Barca can sell him for more money. I mean, I don't hate it. Do I think Ferran is shit? Absolutely. I mean, he went the whole World Cup missing chance after chance, easy chance after easy chance, and then he scores. But hey, he scored. He gave his team the win. That's amazing for him. That's amazing for Spain. But I wouldn't say I hate it. It is what it is, right? That's football for you. The Rebel Pilot says, even though I wasn't the perfect ending he wanted, our GOAT can still bow out proud after everything he gave for both club and country. Through highs and lows, we will always love you, Messi. Amen, my friend. That's the best way to put it. Blorana X says, will Lamine win Ballon d'Or? Because given how Dembele won it last year, I feel Lamine should win it, but Harry Kane definitely deserves. I mean, he has a strong argument to do so, right? Because Lamine Yamal had an incredible season with Barcelona. 20 something goals and almost 20 something assists. I can't remember his exact numbers right now because it's so late and I'm tired. Not to mention he won La Liga and the Spanish Super Cup, and now he goes and wins the World Cup with Spain. I mean, he definitely has a strong argument for it. Where Dembele really ghosted the whole World Cup except that match against Norway, where Norway played all their subs. It was a match that didn't mean anything for France. They were already through as top of their group. That was the only time he actually showed up. Meanwhile, Lamine Yamal, he was there every match. Herbert says, what a crazy street party here in Alicante, Spain. Vamos, it's 5 in the morning and I'm still drunk and drinking. I love it. I love it. Enjoy yourself, my friend. Enjoy yourself. And Abdul Bayan says, Lamine Yamal represent Islam as Muslim. He is carrying legacy, future GOAT. And then Felix says, hi Mo, what is the update on Bisiwu? Signing has been long and no updates on him. It's done. I made a video about it. If you want more details, definitely check out the video. And Zach Urban says, be glad that Ferran scored. Now we can cash in real good. I hope so, my friend. I really hope so. Let's see. What else? Surya says Argentina losing is 1-0. Double O is loose, as in opposite to tight. But Argentina losing it is the sad part. The way they lost is hurting me. Messi deserved better ending. At least, even if they lose, they should try. All they did was WWE, UFC. I wouldn't say that's what they did. This match, yes, it was very, very physical, very tough. But throughout the World Cup, I wouldn't say that Argentina was WWE, UFC. And let's see. Hiro says Rodri might win Ballon d'Or again, not Lamine. I mean, if he does, he very well deserved, because Rodri's World Cup was absolute insanity. I mean, every ball goes through Rodri, and the reason why Spain were able to make it all the way to the final and win the final was their insane possession, and their insane possession is a huge part thanks to Rodri. So in other words, a huge part of why Spain won this World Cup is because of Rodri. So if he wins the World Cup, honestly, well deserved. And Dorian says, hey, Mo, the funniest thing is in a few years, there's going to be a trivia question asking who was the only person to score against Spain in 2026 World Cup. Who was the only person to score against Spain? I'm trying to think, because Spain only conceded one goal in the whole World Cup. That's why Unai Simon ended up winning the Golden Glove. Was it against Belgium that they got scored on? Who scored on Spain? Why can't I remember this? I've watched every single Spain match. Chat, help me out. I'm like blanking on who scored on Spain. I think it was just Belgium, but I can't remember who from Belgium scored against them. Let's see. Bisca Michael says, "Hey Mo, now that Fermin is out, who is gonna be his sub for him? Gabi. It's immensely difficult to know Fermin is injured, not able to contribute this World Cup win. We know we would, we he would have. Well, Fermin's sub would be Olmo, right? If Fermin was not available. And by the way, what a World Cup Olmo had, an incredible World Cup as well. But Fermin is working right now towards being fit the first match of the season, so there's a good chance that he will be back. And But either way, it's usually Olmo. It's Fermin or Olmo that play in the attacking mid, right? And Eddie says de I can never say his name. But yeah, I think that's who scored against Spain. De Cateler. I don't fucking know. But yeah, that guy. Tito says, "Hey Mo, do you think Alvarez's valuation has dropped after this World Cup performance? No one can take a Madrid's comment seriously about not selling 200 euros million now." For sure. I think if I was Barca, I would definitely not increase that offer. I'll be like, look, I would maintain the same position of they have the problem and we are the solution to their problem, and be like, why do you want to ask for more? Besides that goal against Switzerland, Julian really didn't do much this World Cup. Today, he was completely gone, like ghost. Emerick says this World Cup win should give Barca the boost to win La Sexta. I hope so, my friend. I really do. And KMLDNFX says PSG bring that 70 mil and take Ferran. Amen, my friend. Amen. Anyways, that is all, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta go take my dog out and then go to bed. I'm exhausted tomorrow. I gotta go to the gym early in the morning and then work and then do the podcast. So I hope to see you guys in tomorrow's podcast. But let me know what you guys' thoughts were about this final and about this whole World Cup. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and as always, be Scarsa.